And we are live. Everyone joining us, we're going to be coming in with a song. Hello, everybody. Excited to be back with you live on the Lights360 broadcast. Today's broadcast is going to be very interesting. I have some wonderful people that we're going to be having a great discussion today, all the way from Nigeria. Nigeria, my native land. Nigeria, my native land. So I want you to, as you are joining the broadcast, I would like you to just share this broadcast, invite somebody, because you're going to be blessed. You're going to really be blessed in this discussion we're going to be having today. So share the broadcast, do a watch party if you want to do a watch party, but let somebody know that there's a discussion that is about to commence that is going to bless your socks off. So I want to welcome our panelists for today. Wonderful people, great people. You're going to be hearing a bit of their stories today. They are all part of the Leading Lights Network in Nigeria. They participated in the Leading Lights training that we had in Nigeria. Was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year? I don't remember. 2 years ago, right? I think it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years. Okay, yeah. Wow, time flies. And I'm so privileged to have all of them. They are all very busy people. They are all impactful people. They are doing amazing things, but they made this time out so that we can have this discussion together. So I really appreciate you all for joining. appreciate you for making the time. So I'm going to ask you to just introduce yourself briefly. I'll call your name and then we'll just go from there. So let's start with Miriam from Abuja. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me on here, Pastor Lan. My name is Miriam Garba. I'm the Development Director at Premier International School in Abuja, Nigeria. I graduated from the Leading Lights program in 2012. And now I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking, wow, that's such a long time. It's almost 8 years ago.
You were cohort 2. You were the second cohort in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was in a very early cohort. And it's hard to imagine that it's been 8 years already. But I know that, the Leading Lights program impacted my life immensely. It's almost 10 years later, but I still remember a lot of what I gained from that program. So I'm happy to be on here. Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you, Miriam. Let's go to Olugbenga. I think you are muted, Benga. Let me unmute you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Lan, for this privilege. I attended the Leading Light program about 2 years ago, and it's something that hasn't left me. It's difficult to get away from the transformation that it brought to my life. Talking about purpose and so intensely, everything about God's purpose, it's really put me on like a guardrail as to what my priorities and focus should be. And I've just tried to work consciously in that understanding. And it's been fun. It's really been fun. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Okay, so let's go to Amaka.
Hi, good evening, Pastor Lan. Sorry, they just
don't worry.
Factor. Okay, hi, my name is Amaka. I'm a makeup artist, and I was part of the Leading Light conference. That was 2 years ago here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm a big testimony, of what God did during that section. My life changed 360 degree. Like I can't wait to, whenever I meet someone, I can't wait to share. Like once you meet me, you know my purpose, you know my values, and I know my spheres of influence now. And in fact, God has been taking me places, and it has been amazing. I must confess, it has been amazing. It's changed my life. It changed my focus, my values, and it made me look forward to next 10 years, next 50 years, what life is going to be like, and I'm so grateful to God for that opportunity, and also to you, Pastor Lan, and Pastor Peace. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, Michael from Abuja. I'm muted.
Good evening, Pastor Lan.
Okay, good. Yes, good evening. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Pastor Lam.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I do decorations. I'm also a poultry farmer. Okay, I joined the Leading Lights training 2 years ago when a friend of mine, Miriam, invited me to join, and I joined, and my life have never remained the same. It has been an upward movement. Meeting people that, that actually have gone where we are trusting God for. Pastor Lan has been a major motivator in my life since I joined that training. I just thank God for everything. You have to know how to your steward that. You have to know how to get your mentors, how to follow them. You don't have to allow things just move away the way they are supposed to. You have to do things purposefully. You know, that has been a very, very wonderful training for me. You know, it's like a guideline for my life since that time. I've been blessed so much. So I want to thank you, Pastor Lan. I want to thank Pastor Peace. I want to thank Miriam for that opportunity. I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Praise God. All right, let's go to Jerome.
Good evening, Pastor Lan.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, my name is Jerome. I'm into music, but I was just doing music, you know, at a certain level. After my meeting with the Leading Lights, I think someone invited me for the meetings in Abuja.
I was in Abuja.
I missed the first day, the second day. After that day, my whole life turned around. My whole life. You know, after that meeting, I realized that you can become anything you want to be, even if you don't have anything. So long as you have your plans and your purpose right, and you keep your dreams alive, you can achieve anything. You know, just like the word sound, Leading Lights. After that day, I had a special encounter with a word in the Bible, John 9:5, that says, as long as you are in the world, you are the light of the world. And honestly, since that day, my light has been shining. And since that day, I got a revelation, and I wrote a song titled Light of the World. And that word has gone, that song is going viral because my life was changed in that meeting. So honestly, I've been to the university, I've attended so many meetings in my entire life. But I tell you the truth, I can never forget Leading Light meeting because it changed my whole life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you very much. Let's go to Uche.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pastor Lan.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Uche Obuba, and I run a women organization, a women empowering organization, and then a prayer ministry. And 2 years ago, when Pastor Lan buzzed me on Facebook to tell me about the Leading Light training, you know, I wasn't sure if I was going to attend or not, but he just encouraged me, said, I would like you to attend the meeting. You know, yes, I had an understanding of purpose, but the meeting was something else. It was like purpose in a very organized, detailed way that, you know, I came alive. I came alive, you know, a lot of things. I mean, you talked about value system, talked about different things. I mean, after the training, am I supposed to go on?
Yeah, no, feel free. Yeah.
Okay. So while I was at the training, you know, you were giving us homework. We're not supposed to sleep. I was awake. It was as if I was. Everybody, what's happening to you? What's happening to you? I couldn't sleep. You know, I called my friends, different people. I tried to, you know, look for a way to gather people together so we can have this training, you know. And then I actually tried to bring people together to see if Pastor Lan could come back from Abuja, back to Lagos, because I'm like, whoa.
I remember that.
I like, everyone, I told everyone need to go through this training. It was a life-changing experience for me. I just came alive. Thank you so much, Pastor Lan.
Thank you. And you are calling from Ghana currently, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Uche. Let's go to Ahmed.
Wow. Good evening, Pastor Lan.
Good evening.
You. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Hello.
Can you
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Ahmed. I'm the founder of Ideas Hub Limited. We're into creative and innovative learning in schools. We use chess to educate young people in schools. So I attended the Leading Light training here in Lagos, and it was awesome. I met Pastor Lan and the crew, and what I really got from the training basically is clarity and purpose. So I was able to align my mission in life, and also that the knowledge I gained through the training accelerated what we were doing. So we're able to also initiate another trade outreach program called the Chelsea Slum Initiative. It was done by myself and my old boy Tunde Onokoya. So we had to take the program down to the slum also, even though we were working with the private school. So we had to understand that we need to reach out to the less privileged. So we did that. And apart from that, the training itself was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing in the sense that most of the things that we got, not just for my own personal life, I also implemented them on my own business also. And today, I just thank God for meeting Pastor Lan, and of course, the entire crew also. I'm so grateful, Pastor Lan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. All right, let's go to Richard.
Hello, everybody. I am Richard Ike, an engineer, a businessman. I'm a husband to a wife and a father to a daughter. I was part of, I think it was 2 years ago, the Leading Light session. And like everyone, it really, really transformed my life. And transformed my business. I think we took out some key, knowledge and wisdom that has helped us stay focused and then helped us reorganize, and operate better as an organization. So, yeah, so we thank God for that. And then we're hoping that you'll come back again.
Yeah, man, if they allow us to travel, we're on lockdown. So thank you, everybody. Richard also used to be in Chicago, just like Miriam. Many years ago. That's how I met Richard. So thank you, everyone. I think I've covered everybody right there in the introduction. Yeah, I think so. Good. So let's get deeper into this discussion. So we're calling this series of broadcasts that we're doing on Fridays, we're calling it State of the Nations. So the first one we did about 3 weeks ago with people from South Africa, the Leading Light in South Africa. So they were just talking about what's going on in South Africa and what their perspective and what they are doing. And then we did last week Friday with 3 missionaries who go to different nations all over Africa. They plant churches, they do all kinds of stuff. We had an engaging discussion about what's going on in the nations. So you all have a wonderful perspective of what is going on in Nigeria currently, and Uche is in Ghana. So what is going on in Ghana too, and over there. So since this pandemic started, I just wanted to hear your views on what you think is happening, where you are located, and whatever significance, it means, whatever it means to you, in terms what insights you have gotten about the current situation, especially with respect to, working in your divine purpose, or the church, or just what God is doing, at this time. So let me ask Uche to start us off, and then I'll call on the next person.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Lan, for this opportunity again. Okay, like I said, we run a women foundation, which basically we work with women, in the grassroots. We adopt women, we adopt children. So our current project is, we have this Adopt a Child project. We have children that we've adopted, and so we send them to school. We give them some foodstuff and all that. So what we did first of all was when the pandemic started, was to reach out to our families, our adopted families, and we gave them some resources because they needed help. So we all came together. I have a bunch of women that partner with us on that project. So we generally sent relief to them. We visited their environment before the lockdown proper started, and all that. And this is in Nigeria. For now, the project is in Nigeria, but I'm here in Accra. So we reached out to those women, and then Also being someone in the prayer ministry, which is where I function primarily, which is my core calling primarily. We had to summon, people. We had to engage in some prayer and fasting sessions, which we continue to do. Generally praying for people, praying for the nation, and then also based on the insights that God has given me in this whole situation, to try to align people, align people to the will I call it align or reset, the mindset of people where life is concerned generally, how to respond in this season, because you find a lot of people asking, is the world coming to an end? Am I going to be raptured? What's going to happen to us? And all that. So, we try to bring a different, like a paradigm shift, in the way we've been doing church, in the way we've been doing life, to pay more attention to our work with God in terms of being sure that we are aligned to God. And then, it's as against just, being in church. Because if you're in alignment, you're not going to be confused and wondering, am I going to be raptured? Am I not going to be raptured? And all that, and then just generally get people to a place of alignment, a place of divine alignment, where they understand their place in God, understand what is going on, understand their calling, and take their place in destiny. Basically, this has been our approach. And so it's been more of prayer, and then encouraging people and aligning people to, aligning people to who they are in God and what God expects of us, for such a time as this. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I forgot to mention that I've known you for, is it up to 20 years or over 20 years?
It's about 20 years. Yes, I also want to say something, incidentally, I was thinking about the women ministry that we run now. And when I didn't even know that I was a women ministry, when I had no clue, I remember one day we had a vigil, then you were my pastor. We had a vigil in church, and then he said, I'm going to make an announcement. And then the people that are concerned, they don't know anything about this announcement, but God told me, to make this announcement. He said, we're going to start a women fellowship in the church. I was not a pastor. I was nothing. I was a nobody. He said, we're going to start a women ministry, a women fellowship or something. And then Sister Uche is going to head it, and all. So that was my first introduction to the women ministry. And then there were people there who were, who were more spiritual. I wasn't spiritual at all in that sense, but you said that to me. And, so I was it was more like an appointment, and I began to grow. And God began to show me things after a while. And so right now, that is what I am doing fully.
Wow.
I'm into women ministry, and apart from the women ministry, the prayer. I still remember, I still thought about you a couple of weeks ago that, what I'm doing right now, you saw it many, many, many years ago when I didn't see it.
And I don't remember. So when people tell me all these stories, I don't remember. I was like, I don't remember anymore at all. But that's encouraging. Wow. So that's what you do now.
That's what I do full time.
Wow. And it was just, just go and do it. I guess that must have been the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit sees 20 years ahead. The Holy Spirit already saw that's the calling he had for you, many, many years ahead, and you got into it. So I'm so grateful to God for that. And thank you for everything that you are doing for women. We're going to talk more about some of the projects that you've been doing for women. Thank you. Let's go to Miriam. Miriam, what's going on with this season? What are you getting from the Lord? What's happening in Nigeria? And then, how are you responding?
Yeah, so Abuja went into lockdown on March 20th, 2020. I feel like that's a date I'm going to remember for a very long time. It's like one of those questions, like, where were you when this happened? So we went into lockdown on March 20th, 2020. And I think, like everybody else, it took us by surprise and shock, really, because no one could have anticipated what was coming and the scale at which our lives were going to change. In a day, everything just changed. I work at a school. I'm development director, like I said earlier. We cater to approximately 1,000 learners, ranging in age from 3 months to 21 years old. And we have a workforce of about 250 people. So it's actually a significant responsibility. And if you take 1,000 kids and kind of extrapolate that to the number of parents that we're working with, probably about just as many parents as well, because you have moms and dads. So we actually have a pretty large community that we have to transition very, very quickly out of the physical premises of the school and into the online space. So one of the things that we had to do was to obviously transition to online learning, like many schools around the world did. So we spent 2 weeks training our staff force on things like Zoom lessons, Google Classroom, booklets. We use like a lot of email packs as well to engage with the parents, and Microsoft Teams as well, even though we ended up not really using that. But we kind of, first of all, had to learn ourselves to figure out, okay, what are all the tools? Because we didn't even know much about these online learning tools initially. So we have to ramp up very, very quickly. And you can imagine that taking a team of 250 people and 1,000 kids, and then the kids' parents, because the kids can't come online if their parents are not internet savvy as well. We had to do that. And then we had many families as well that had to incur a lot of expenses, either getting additional devices. Everybody had to get online. We had to, in Nigeria, for example, data is really expensive. I think we spend more getting a gig costs more. Downloading a gig of data costs more in Nigeria than it does in the US. So that's a major expense. And power as well, because you also can't have online learning without stable electricity, right? Because if a teacher needs to come online to teach a lesson and they haven't had power in their neighborhood all night, and they have a lesson that starts at 9 a.m. and they can't leave their neighborhood to go charge their devices, then how is that teacher going to actually teach? So we had to also provide financial stipends to our staff to help make sure that they could come online, so that they could have diesel in their generators, or they could charge up their devices, and that they could have data. So we had to pay additional stipends just in addition to the salary for our teachers to be able to stay online. Another major challenge that we had, I know that in the US, there were many people that got economic recovery checks, and, no one is really, some people are able to kind of comfortably stay
at home. Money to us in the house, so.
Yes, you were home and, we got checks. But, yeah, exactly. But, in Nigeria,
you check your account in the US, you might have gotten some.
I don't. I've been thinking about this. I see places like Canada where they say they're going to give them money for 4 months. Nobody is going to be out of a job. I'm like, wow, this is really, really nice. It's really, really nice to just stay at home and.
They even give to our church too, the payroll.
Yes, I saw that as well. Like, so it's you're all in a very, 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 very fortunate position. For us, I think we're at my school, the countdown began the day school shut down, because we didn't even conclude third term. We had some parents that hadn't even finished paying fees for third term, but we did our best. We were able to pay salaries in March and in April, and another major battle that we're in May right now, and we're just kind of taking it every day. We're just taking every day as it goes. But another major battle that we have to really kind of navigate was, I think that families in Nigeria, parents in Nigeria, don't feel online learning is offers the same value as in-person learning. And I actually agree with that. But the problem with that is that you can't bill what you would normally bill for regular lessons. And the parents were not our only challenge. Even the government was a challenge because the government then stopped schools from resuming online, which I felt was a very backwards move. So we had just, unbelievable challenges that we had to surmount because, for schools, we were just hanging in a zone of how do we move forward from this pandemonium that we find ourselves in, and we have a workforce to support, because really you don't have a school if you don't have teachers, and we didn't want a situation where we would have to start laying people off because we wouldn't be able to pay them. So anyways, we just decided to start the online learning program for free, just to get the parents involved and get them engaged so that they would hopefully appreciate at least the effort that was going into that, the resources that were going into that. And we had to engage our parent-teacher community as well in terms of like how much we could actually charge. So that's an ongoing conversation. It's an ongoing challenge, but I really thank God that, 2 months after the lockdown, we've not had to lay anybody off. And we've been able to engage our learners and, our team. One of the good things that's come out of this is that our teachers, our parents, our leaders, our kids, we've all really improved in our use of technology over the last 2 months. So I'm really, really thrilled about that. And then the second part of your question, I think, which is sort of like the link to how did maybe Leading Lights, how did my Leading Lights training prepare me for this pandemic, or how did my focus on my purpose help me to stay on course, through this crisis, or how is it helping me to stay on course through this crisis? I remember very clearly one of the things that I got out of Leading Lights was that I operate in two spheres. One is in the business sphere, and the other is in the entrepreneurial. Business is the same as entrepreneurship, but the other is the education. So B and E. And so I've always felt like I have a left brain and a right brain. I have a brain that's logical and a brain that's a bit more sentimental. And my business brain is more about the profit, the numbers. Are we making money? Does it make sense? The education side of me is more about what we're doing, a social good anyway. So we have to keep up what we're doing, and we're doing something that impacts society for the better. So I think maintaining that has really helped me, especially around our workforce. That's been a very, very, very difficult decision because we have people on our workforce who are also not teachers, right? So you have administrative staff, you have cleaners, you have security people, you have cooks, and people that are just they can't offer their services online right now because the kids are not there. But I think being able to really take that decision that we're going to do the absolute best that we can to carry our workforce through as much as we can. If all we do is ensure that the 250 people that we have still get incomes during this time and they have a job at the end of this whole thing, then I think we would have succeeded as a school. So I've had to really shut down on the business side and really focus more on our mission as an organization and the purpose for which we exist, which I believe is not just to make money and to lead, but to also the people that we employ support many families. I think the average about 70% or 80% of our workforce is married, and most of them have kids. So that's usually about 3 or 4 dependents. We have one person probably supporting 3 or 4, maybe 5 people. So the 250 people that we're supporting are probably supporting in turn another 1,500 or even more people. So I think being able to take that decision and stand by that purpose, I would attribute that immensely to the training that I got from Leading Lights, where purpose matters. It's not just about the now, but just thinking about why does your organization exist? Why do you exist as a person? So I think that's been the impact of the.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember in the Leading Lights training, you were the wealth builder, and your goal then, to employ people, to educate people. You had a whole lot of stuff like that in your portfolio, and now you are doing that. Where the rubber meets the road, you have to keep people employed. Over 250 people employed, and students engaged, and all that. So wonderful job. Thanks for sharing. Let's go to Benga Olubenga. Same question. Is Benga there? Oh, I think you are muted. You are muted. Right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I said she was so interesting, I forgot the question. What's the question again, please?
This season, what's been happening? What's the state of the nation you're surrounding, and then how, what you are doing, or how do you see God working in your life at this time? Yeah.
Two things basically. I am an entrepreneur, so I also have a gift, a teaching gift, knowledge. So I get involved in a lot of things. Like we have a fish pond that we started about a year ago with a partner. Then I've also been working on developing some of the ideas and thoughts and inspiration God has been given to me in terms of like books, scripts and all of that. So when this pandemic started, I first of all, I was a bit concerned for the church because I felt the church, the church needed to define itself properly, that the building is not the church, the people are the church. And so I've had that concern for a while. I've had that discussion with my friends severally. So I needed to start explaining to people that the church is not shut down, it's the building that's shut down. And if we moved out of the building, someone else would take it over and use it for something else. Yeah. So it's not the church that is shut down. We are the church. And also, I have this notion that, look, where two or three are gathered, there I am. That's where the church is. So denomination notwithstanding. So we still have church. When I can bond with the guy from the other denomination in my compound and we pray together, we share fellowship, we, encourage one another and all of that. So I've been trying to talk about that quite a bit with people who seem despondent. I remember I had this very, very interesting engagement. I went to like a place where we repair our appliances. I had some appliances that needed repair. So while we were all there, repairing, people were very busy. Some guy just came in. They started having this discussion. He said, the church is shut down. Why should the government do that? Blah, blah, blah. The other guy replied. So I now realized that there were like 6 Christians in that place. 6 of us were Christians. And everybody was minding their business, repairing appliances, just going on. And a discussion started. I joined in. I asked him, why do you think the church was shut down? We started having this engagement. I let him realize that, look, what was shut down is not the church. You and I are the church. And I didn't know the other guys were also listening to. So as we were about to leave, I remember the gentleman that he was backing me. He wasn't facing me, he was backing me. I didn't know he was listening. He now stopped and said, oh, guy, you can't go yet. I said, why? I'm going home. He said, no, I have to take your number. I want to know what church you worship at. I like the things you said. I like to invite you to speak in my church. He was saying those things. I was like, hold on. We're just having where 2 or 3 are gathered. There I am. That's what we're just doing. And, I needed the guy to. So I've been doing a bit of that. Then then recently, there's this issue of insecurity in the country where the tendency towards violence, vices was increasing among the youth due to lockdown and inability to, find work to do or something to eat. And, we were hearing a lot of this. So I talked to my partner. We decided that we're going to bless people with our fish that we had in the pond. Since silver or gold we have none, but such as we have, we give. So we decided.
I don't mind some fish too, We can ship them to the US.
Okay. So we decided to just be a blessing to people, and just reach out. And so we took some of the fish. We went to smoke it, dried, and we placed it at the food like supermarket, and told the guys that, look, if people walk in, they don't have any food to eat, just give them some. And then we were trying to raise money to just pay a deposit so that they can give them something to cook with it if people walk in. I was calling some of my friends who were also being called by other friends. Everybody is calling everybody because everybody needs help. Yeah. So we're trying to do that. Then I realized that, look, the Holy Spirit opened my eyes to something. He said, man shall not live by bread alone. Mm-hmm. Which means that, so if all your palliative is about bread, you are supporting existence, not living, not life. Yeah. And so you are retaining the population, but you are not enhancing the purpose.
You are teaching them how to fish. Sorry, you are giving them a fish, not teaching them how to.
Not even that. You are keeping people in existence so that you have a population. Yes. But you are not focusing on their purpose, which makes the population productive and fulfilling. Mm-hmm. So I decided that, look, and then, some of these ideas, God started teaching me about how he faced the pandemic in Genesis and the things he did to to recreate the earth and all of that. And he mandated me that, look, share this thing. So I had it in a text, in a book. I thought about it. Look, I don't have a studio. I don't have, how do I share it? And so I went to my friend's place, my very good friend. I was just telling him, look, I have this idea. I will share with him. He'll be like, wow, I'm so blessed. I don't know. So my friend just encouraged me that, why don't you do videos and just share it and just, let people hear some of these ideas. It might bless someone. So I started, I've done two. I think I sent you some,
just they were powerful. In fact, the revelation on lights in Genesis, that was very powerful.
Yeah.
And I will ask you to talk about it more later, as we
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just share a little testimony here. My eldest brother lives in South Africa. He was a Christian. He's a Christian now. Was a Christian for years when we were growing up. He had some issues. He became a Muslim along the line. And he doesn't play with religion. He became a Muslim. So, and I started praying for him. And the Holy Spirit said, stop praying for him. Just show him love. Don't talk about it. Just show him love. Forget, just show him love. So how are you, brother? How's everything? We talk. And so one day he sent me a message that, look, he started going to church, that he's back and all of that. I was like, wow, God, this is great. I'm so happy. Now, those videos are helping him so much. He sends messages to me that you don't know how you help, because I'm his little brother. So he doesn't know anything about my calling, my gifting. I didn't even know about my calling and gifting until I came to the Leading Lights. One of the things the Leading Lights did for me was to help me believe in my calling. Just the same way Bill Gates believes in his own calling. To help me believe that, look, in your calling is your fulfillment. In your calling are the metrics that God is going to judge you on. And because that's what he called you to do. And so whatever you allow to kind of block you or make you not believe in it, that thing is going to shortchange. That's the enemy you have to fight.
Yeah.
So that was, and I'm not called to pulpit ministry. That's not I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm called to teach. Not to the pulpit. So I've had people call me and say, why don't you come and preach in my church? I said, I'm not sent. Okay, give me your notes. Let me go and share it. Take the notes, go and share it. So I've had a lot of that. So I've struggled. So where do I fit in? If I'm not called to start a church or pulpit. So when I started sharing that video, people from South Africa, UK, US, sending comments about how blessed they are. Some ladies said, I've shared it to my entire group. This thing is so, I realized that that's where God is. This issue of let the government give the palliative.
Yeah.
The bread alone part of man's sustenance.
Yeah.
You attack the other side,
Yes.
which has to do with the purpose, which has to do with the will of God, which has to do with the good, what God can bring out of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's basically
Thank you.
what it's
Thank
been.
you very
Yeah,
much. That's awesome. You know, and I forgot to mention that I've known you for 28 years. You were my bunk mate in college, in university.
You were sleeping up, I was sleeping down.
I was up and down. You know, in the same class.
On the same bunk. Electronics engineering, yeah.
University. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Richard, what's up? What's going on?
Present. Well, I would say a lot is going on. It's been tough for Nigerians. I think what this period, it just shows, like I say, what we lack in leadership as a people. I also think this time has also shown what the church should be doing in terms of building people, in terms of teaching people proper leadership, because these problems will not go away, right? There needs to be an intentional effort raising the next set of leaders to fix this country. If not, what will happen will be every time. 4 years ago, it was another form of recession. Now we're going through both recession and a pandemic at the same time. And the funny thing, you see, you go from one to the other, and we never learn anything. You know, I don't want to go into details, but I think that seems to be the general gist, you know, in Nigeria. And sometimes you sit back and you look at people going through all of that, and it's heartbreaking. Before I start talking about other people, I'll talk about how it has impacted me and us. You know, we had one project suspended. In fact, 2 projects suspended. We have another one was suspended probably till next year. You know, and then you look as a business owner. Do you turn around and start slashing salaries and start laying people off? And then you now think about it. If you are feeling the impact this way, how about the next person that pretty much, you know, which are your workers that they don't have any source of income. So then you now begin to understand, you know, again, when we go back to purpose, you know, one of the things that we shared 2 years ago, how I believe that the essence for what God has called me to do is, you know, to touch lives, you know, and basically I call myself the conduit. You know, the money is just flowing through me and he's leading me to do things in different areas, you know. So, I mean, I had to make a decision, you know, I had to ask God to lead me to make the right decision concerning the people that work for us, you know. And so that on itself, it's on the side. You turn around and then you look at people, you know, when she talked about having, I think she said 250 staff. You know, my daughter's school, I mean, how much do they pay them? So the option is either they do the online thing and get the parents pay a fraction so that they can at least get 50% of their salaries. Mind you, there is inflation and the country is going through recession. So you begin to look at that and it moves you as a person. And you know what I can take out of it is that, you know, for some of us, you know, You know, we need to understand why God has called us to do what we do. And we need to do it to the best of our abilities for times like this, you know, because there will come a time when you will need to hold up people that you have no business holding up. You will need to make this, you know, you will need to make decisions and take steps just to look out for the next person, because I believe that that's what God has put in every one of us. Yeah. And we shouldn't play with that. I think it's very, very important. Yeah. You know, we must excel, we must succeed, you know, for ourselves, yes, but for those people out there, it's very, very important. Yeah. You see the church, you know, I thank God for the churches, you know, like he said, you know, the thing is that the church doesn't really promote or advertise some of these things that we do for the people, you know, but our church, you know, we've been feeding people and then we've been helping people. And I think one thing about this period, you know, I just feel God is calling us to look in a particular direction. You know, it's so easy for us. I think sometimes we lose focus of what is important. And then God is now saying, okay, look this way. And I think that's what's happening. Like my church, for example, you know, I don't want to mention the name of my church, you know my church, you know, and now we're trying to build systems and build things in place just to remain relevant. Yeah. I don't know if I can say that about church, you know. But it's the truth. Yeah. You have some of our church branches that didn't even have social media presence, talkless of accounts, you know. They didn't even have the internet connection, you know, until this period. You know, and again, I know that after this season, the church will.
Okay, looks like
church within the four walls.
Okay.
Hello?
No, you got caught up a little bit. You got hung up a little bit, but you are back now. I'm
back. Sorry, where did it cut off?
We got your train of thought. Your picture just got caught up. Yeah. Okay.
Continue. Okay. So you know how we talked about, you know, church leaving the four walls, you know? Yeah. This time around, it has left the four walls, it has left the compound, it has left the street. And, you know, I thank God it has gotten into every home, you know? Yeah. So again, I thank God for that. So I think that is a direct impact of this season. So we must embrace that. Then I think that if I could go back to something that I said, and I think I'll say it again, and I feel that's what God has been laying in my heart, you know, not to lose focus. It's so easy for us to focus on the storm and forget the God that is riding in our boat.
I like that.
You know, and why I say that is, guys, there's a lot happening. There's still a lot going on. You know, it's, you know, when you watch CNN and you watch the news media, and even the ones that get on your WhatsApp, you might conclude that the world is ending tomorrow. The world is not ending tomorrow. The world is not ending tomorrow. You know, I mean, personally, I don't know if you've been following the stock market.
Yeah, right. I am in the stock market. I invest in the stock market.
Okay. Because I started investing in the stock market too.
Yes.
Because for me, it was, Richard, while you are sitting down, what are you doing? You know, and I had to ask myself that question: what are you doing? So I started looking for opportunities to invest. And one thing is, right now the stock market it has crashed.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, in another 2 to 3 months, those people that invested now will be cashing out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying this that you should take all your money and buy stock, but I'm saying this that, you know, God is still on the throne. He's still working. You know, he's still dropping ideas. he's still innovative. He's still dropping those things in our mind. So I will encourage every one of us, to take time out and download your own version or your own copy. I know that God has kept us. God will continue to keep us. There was something that you said in it was a church service in the Elevation Church before we moved to the new place. You know how you talked about how we can think and reason.
Yeah.
One of the things you mentioned was when you are in the shower.
Oh yeah. How God will give you ideas when you're in the shower.
But you said unfortunately a lot of Nigerians don't use shower. We use to bath. So but we must this season, and it will be a shame if we come out of this season and not transformed. Yeah. Now we have ample time. We have ample time. We have time to sit down. We have time to re-strategize. We have time to plan. There's something else that I will also mention.
Let's get to that. We'll get to that. Let me move on to Amaka, and then we'll get all the thoughts, Richard.
Okay.
Yeah. Amaka, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, and yes, we're on lockdown. Although like about a week ago, the lockdown was relaxed a bit, but I think towards the end of March, I can't remember the exact date, like Miriam did, we are asked to stay home, like we're locked down.
Okay, I think you are hung up. All right, let's.
Like the kind of business I do, I'm a makeup artist, and if you don't have a party to go to, if you don't have anyone there, there's no job for us. Hello?
Yeah, we can. Hello? We can see you now.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I don't know where you lost me there, but like I was saying that like what I do, I'm a makeup artist. I'm the head makeup artist for Amicable Beauty Signature, and from what I do, if there's no
your
party,
own business, right? That's your business.
Yes.
Which you started after leading Lights.
Yes, it expanded more after leading Lights.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, so I after leading Lights, I had the boldness to like launch out, like go into it big time. So if you don't have a party, there's no party, there's no one bed, there's no child education, there's no business for us. So our business went into complete lockdown, So, but at the beginning of the lockdown, there was a lot of tension because I don't think the little time I've spent here on earth, nothing like this has ever happened. It was like about a week into the lockdown that we started hearing that it happened some 100 years ago. And, people that afterwards, people like survived it and life continued. So, but when it started, initially, like the first week, it was crazy. There was tension. People were thinking that the world is coming to an end. A lot of information started circulating online. Like the world is coming to an end, you have to the fear was just everywhere. But at the time, I told myself, I'm done with listening to these people. Like, what is God saying? So I took time with my husband. We started to pray, because we needed to hear what God was saying. And from there, we started having this burden in our heart to pray for people. So we shifted our own concerns, and then we started praying for people. We started praying for family. We started praying for friends. We started praying for neighbors, like people that we can. In fact, we went on a 7 days midnight prayer, because you find out that during the day you will sleep and you'll be awake in the night. And then we said, okay, let's use this time to pray. So we're praying about the country, Nigeria. We're praying for people, you know. And as the prayer went on, we started getting more, like the hunger to pray, you know, started increasing and all. So we took our time to pray, and we had time for families, like call this person, we've not heard from this person in a while. You know, when the business, when it was the usual business, in the mornings, you know, everybody's trying to like go out, I have to meet up to this appointment and all. But at that time, we had to sit in. We thought about, as in your mind, in fact, in fact, the lockdown made people like me, like we had to think, you know, we had to remember people and not just pray for them, you call to check up on them. And then also the lockdown also helped us to learn. Like I found myself online all the time, like Pastor Lan, some of your Instagram videos, online live videos, I was there. You know, in fact, even my husband was, I guess the guy was already tired of hearing Pastor Lan. Like even when we were cutting, Pastor Lan said this, Pastor Lan helped me to know this about myself, Pastor Lan. And then during the lockdown and we're watching live videos, he kind of met you and he understood why I'm so passionate about your teachings and what I've learned from you, you know. So we had time to learn. We had time to like think on how to venture into some other businesses. I was like, okay, I'm a makeup artist, but I'm on lockdown, but people who are still making money online, what else can I do? What else can he do? Because his job was also at home. You know, what else can we do? We had to think about businesses. And then also, the lockdown also helped us to like, you know, remember people that are in need. Okay, we start getting calls from church members and families that were like, you know, people were hungry. You know, there was nothing. In fact, the lockdown took everybody by surprise. So yes, we didn't have much, but it gave us time to like say, okay, let's bless this person, let's do this, let's do that. And guess what, Pastor Now, you taught me this during the Leading Light training about giving. Yeah. You know, that when you give is a biblical principles to wealth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a paraphrase. Yeah, I'm trying to paraphrase it, but I thank God I married someone that loves to give, you know, like we're giving, and then guess what? People were on lockdown, but as we were giving, money was coming in. Mm-hmm. People that I just got married a few months ago, people that they didn't call or maybe send their wedding gifts, but it was coming in without us asking.
Wow.
You understand? So it was a principle that, yeah, we were giving, but we had to, as in this lockdown helped us to like realize the blessings of giving. Yeah. Because as we were giving, like after 2 days, you know, people will ask us, I have not given you, I have not blessed you for your wedding, send your account number, and that is it. We're blessed, you know, or we are still blessed. So, and also concerning my purpose, like it helps me to like, I'm a very busy person, but this lockdown made me to like think, like I had to sit down. And I remember that there's this passion I have in my heart to help people that have the same challenge of genotype that I have. Mm-hmm. You know, God has really blessed me. God has been so grateful to me. I've enjoyed healing. Mm-hmm. You know, even when I go out to tell you, when I have the opportunity to tell people what I'm living with, mm-hmm. and they're like, it's not possible. Are you sure? Yeah. Like, how did you know? Like, they don't believe it. And I know that this has been a blessing from God. Like I asked for it and God gave it to me.
I remember when you came to me specifically in the Leading Lights training to talk about that, about your health, your business. Yes. I remember very clearly.
Yes. And you know,
about marriage then too. Yes. And then your name.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My name.
Yeah.
Yes. Pastor.
Now you are married to a great man. Yes. Your business has expanded, and God is strong. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know. So I've been thinking, like, how do I meet people to like share this whole thing with? How do I talk to people? Who do I meet? How do I go about it? But this time, this lockdown made me to realize that I can actually use the online platform. Yeah. I can just open up a YouTube channel or probably come on to my personal pages to talk about it. And also one person can hear and tell this person, and then they'll want to like know how I did it. Yeah. And, you know, just also I think is a medium for me to lead people to Christ, because you cannot get the blessings from God without knowing him. Yeah. You know, so this lockdown just like reminded me of my purpose, like what I've not been doing right, I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know, it's in fact, it has been a blessing. Yes, we're not going out, we're not doing business, but yes, I can testify. Like I was telling my husband some days ago that this lockdown, it has been a blessing in disguise. So I am grateful. I am thankful. I don't know if I covered my
very well. You did a good job. Wow. Thank you for doing that. Ahmed, let's hear from you.
All right. Yeah, it's good to be here once again. I was similar to Miriam, what she said, because on that same day, March, they announced the lockdown for Abuja, Lagos, and Ogun State. You know, at that point where they announced, you know, we do chess in schools, you know, and we go to the school, me and my team, we work with over 50 schools here in Lagos. So we go in to the schools to teach, impart the children. But when the announcement came that all schools should be shut down, you know, and some of the schools are at the point where they were still preparing for exams. Okay, the second term, they didn't finish the term. You understand? So it was a big shock for all of us. Okay, so initially we thought maybe this thing will just be maybe after the lockdown, maybe the 2 weeks, maybe after the 2 weeks, we'll all go back to work. You know, just be optimistic that this thing is just something that will just come and then they'll find the solution to it. So when they now announced another 2 weeks, another 2 weeks of lockdown, it not done all of us. It not done all of us. I look, this thing is no jokes. And what I did basically is, first of all, to look inward, you know, because I know.
Look, it looks like your internet is breaking.
In the period of difficulty.
Ahmed, your internet is breaking.
Where creativity should be bubbling. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Your internet is breaking. Yeah.
My internet is breaking. Okay. Better off. Can I go on?
Yeah, go on now. Yes, go on.
Okay. So what I did first of all was to reach out to all of the school owners. You know, first of all, finding out what is the next thing for them. How are they going to be reaching out to their children, to their kids, to the pupils, you know. So the big challenge for them also were that when they were also trying to find a way around it, the big shocker came when the federal government said they shouldn't resume online. There was a challenge maybe to resume online or not. So what they now did, basically, is just very few of them. So, okay, we're not going to resume online, fine. We're going to obey authorities. But what we're going to do, we're going to engage our children. So we on our own end, I was just now thinking, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to still be, you know, relevant to all of this, to reach out to these children and ensure that they are still learning what they should learn? So I had a meeting in my team. I have a team of about 25 team members. So I have a team, and so we brainstormed. So, okay, what do we do? How are we going to reach out to these children? So we thought about all options. But I wanted an experience where the people can still experience us in real time. So we had different options. The learning from the Zoom, what's it called now? Google Classroom and WhatsApp. So what I saw on those platforms, I don't want the children to stress in important. They need to get their chest book and then talking loud. So what we now did, we now created a digital platform. So I'm going to share it to everyone to look at it. A digital platform where we can teach chess.
Can you share it now?
Yes, I will.
Share your screen and let's see.
Wow, let me see. Okay.
So while you are getting going, get it ready. Are you ready with it?
Okay, I can just say it. It's just www.ideashub.com.
Okay, say it, and I will show it. What's the website again?
Okay, www.ideas. Ideas. The ideas is spelled HY.
Okay.
HY. Yeah. DE.
Yeah.
AX.
X as in Christmas.
X. No.
S
X.
as in Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. X.
Hub.
Then ob. Yes. HUB.com.
.com. Let me see if I can see. Aligns a team operational packages and requisites. Is that the one?
Yes. Just click on classes.
Okay, I'm going to show it to everybody now, those who are watching us. So Ahmed is, is sharing with us something that he's doing at this time. So you all be able to see it.
So we're going to express that.
Okay, go down.
Yeah, you can see. So you can see. Just the place where you log in. There's a login. Wow. Yes. So that's where you get a section with me live.
Oh,
I'll give you the password.
Okay.
The username and the password. That's where you'll be able to see me and learn. And you see the chessboard. And then learn. So this is global.
I'm going to talk to you more about this after this show is over. I like this.
All right.
Yeah. So you are teaching kids how to play chess while they are at home, while they are on lockdown, while they are not able to go to school. And then people can talk to you privately by logging in.
Yes. So once they log in, they experience the lesson in real time with me.
Wow.
So they see me, I see them, then the board is there. So we'll play chess together in real time. So they'll see my face, I'll see their face. They'll be able to talk to me, just as we are doing now. We're going to experience interactive.
Wow. How did who designed this for you? Were you the one that did it?
No, we have our team. We have an IT team that came up with this, and then we had to also partner with some other guys too. But I just told them what I wanted, because I wanted an experience where, the children can see me, can see all of us. So all the trainers they are used to, so they can see us and still learn. So the whole idea for them not to mix us at all.
Yeah.
You understand? So that we can still have that connection.
Yeah.
So that's what we were able to put up, and the feedback has been awesome from the school owners, parents, because there's another package we have where we can teach the whole family.
Wow.
The dad, the mom, we can learn together.
To log on and I love that creativity.
Yeah. So those are most of the things I learned when I came for the training, to be able to think out of the box and also align with your mission and your values. So that's what happened. So for us, basically, is for us to remain on top of the competition, to ensure that we stay in line and close to our clients, also to let them know, okay, this is what we are, this is who we are. So that must still go on for us. So as a team lead, for me, is just an example. So to let the school know that we are on top of our game, and that we know what we are going with, what we are doing. So what he now brought basically is not even limited to Lagos alone. Now we went global, which was the original goal. was the original goal. So we just went global, and then now we can teach over 5,000 children all over the world, all the time.
That is amazing. What you're just sharing right now is amazing. I'm sure those who are watching, they are just, inspired. I am inspired by this. One of the things we're working on right now at the Life Development Center is our learning management system.
Wow.
So the Leading Lights training, we're actually working now to deliver the Leading Lights training virtually anyway.
Wow.
We have trainings like this where people can come in and then they can do assignment, they can do all those assessments that you guys did. And we're having the first, just a taste of the Leading Light. We're having it May 23rd May 23rd, where, and for those who are watching, if you want to be a part of that, you can join from anywhere in the world. It's free. You will have a taste of our discovery module, which a lot of you are talking about how you discovered your purpose. You can go to openhouse.theleadinglight.org, openhouse.theleadinglight.org, and you will, let me show you. You will see a form in there that you can easily fill, and then our team will get across to you on openhouse.theleadinglight.org. If I'm able to open it up, look like these things. Yeah. So basically that's, open house. Let me just quickly do it so that people can see. Openhouse.theleadinglights.org. It's a very simple form in there that anybody watching, or you are watching this thing, doing a rebroadcast or whatever, it's just, your name, your phone number, your city, how we can contact you. And then our team will get in touch with you on how you can be part of the virtual Taste of Leading Light that is coming up next Saturday, which is May 23rd. So, this thing is packing a lot of inspiration. So thank you for sharing that. Let me go to Jerome. Jerome, let me hear you quickly. What are you doing? Is Jerome there? Okay. You were muted. Let me unmute you. Okay, you are.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, I said the lockdown has not been really easy, but it has been a blessing to me. Just like it is in Genesis 50, verse 20, that said the enemy meant it for evil, but God turned it around for good. Throughout this period of the lockdown, I've been writing songs every day, every day. No, the schools are closed, the hospitals are open, business centers are closed, but the studios are not closed. So I just find my way to town, to a studio. I've been there for like a week recording my songs. Then I found another way, put my songs there on the YouTube to make sure that people all over the world could access.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
What's it? While you are talking, just give it to me.
Okay, DR, Dr. Jerome Phase 1. DR joined together with the Jerome.
Okay, Dr. Jerome Phase 1 on YouTube.
Phase 1, yes, on YouTube.
Okay.
So during the lockdown, I've been able to upload like about 10 or more songs above 10 or so. I have songs like Twale for the African Mother, Light of the World, Unlimited God, and so on. So I've really used the lockdown period to bring out songs or to write songs that in the next 10 years, those songs will be relevant. Like the COVID-19 and the Corona we're talking about, or the world are going, running hectare about. It's a phase. God showed it to me. It's a phase of life, and it will definitely fade away. Phase 1, not one, O-N-E, Dr. Jerome Phase.
Okay, one.
P-H-A-X, yes, O-N-E.
Okay, is that this one? Okay, I see it.
Yes, part of it, the down one, Unlimited God. Okay. Yes, it's during the lockdown, I've been able to put all these things on Facebook.
So you did it on the YouTube during the lockdown?
Yes.
Let me play it quickly. Let me see.
Okay, sir.
There's nothing too hard for you. to do. There's nothing too hard for you to do. Jesus, there is nothing too hard for you to do. If you raise the dead, then I am rest assured. If you can up the seas and make the mountain leap for joy, then I know that nothing is hard, my God, to do. If you can make the blind eye see, you make the river suspend stars in the sky. You make the skies to float. Then I know that nothing is hard for you.
Will you please come?
There is nothing too hard for you.
Is there need to carry this?
No.
There is nothing too hard
Awesome.
for you.
That's a sample of it. Very good.
Yes,
Good
sir.
job. Good job. Good job. Proud of you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful, sir.
Yeah.
So honestly, Leading Light has been a blessing to my life. And I've been taught never to be idle. You know, no matter the situation you find yourself, find something doing. You know, sometimes in life, people tell you you can't get something done. Go get it done, snap pictures, and put it there, let the world see.
Yeah.
And that is what I've been doing. I have not been idle. Some people are locked down, but we are not locked down. We are working. And in the next 10 years, the songs that I'm going to put online are going to be songs God gave me on this period of the lockdown. And people will be like, where did you get these songs? They don't know it's during the lockdown period that God gave me those songs. So I am not locked down.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much, Jerome.
And all those things.
Inspiring.
I want to say thank you to Pastor Lan.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember when I attended the meeting at Abuja, after the first day, the second day, I came with about 10 people to that place.
Yes,
That's
I remember.
to show you that I was really blessed. If I wasn't blessed, I wouldn't have even told anyone.
You were reciting your mission, your vision. That was a very powerful recitation of what you are going to do, and this is happening right now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you so much. I don't have much to say. A lot of us have taken much time to, elaborate and talk about it, but that is just my dreams. I have not been locked down. I have been working. And I'm also saying thank you to Leading Light because you inspire me. Pastor Lan, you inspire the world, not just Nigeria, not just Africa. You've inspired the whole world. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Michael, let's hear from you. I think you are the last one to go now.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Yes, good evening. Let's get you.
Okay. I like to tell my friends that the Leading Light is not just a school or a program where people learn. It is a movement. It's a movement. Okay, it has really been a blessing. So during this lockdown, that was announced on the 20th of March, I am into poultry farming and also into event management. And with a lockdown, you can't really do much, everything is suspended. But I thank God it's a time to sit back and reflect, in how God has kept you. Because if the enemy begin to show you pictures like, like discouragement, like what do you think is going to happen after this lockdown and everything? But it's also a time for you to begin to think. Because if I'm going to watch CNN and see the people, losing their lives, especially in the US, I think about 80,000 plus. It's time for you to say, Father, thank you for the gift of life. It could have been you, your family, it could have been someone else. So, I thank God for Pastor Lam. We had there's a training or there's a meeting we always have every month, the mandate, I think we had like 2 during the lockdown period. It was amazing. Talking about the man, your place in the
Mandate
family.
is a meeting that I do with men from different places, like some chosen men everywhere. I do a monthly meeting with them. So Michael is part of that. Yeah, go ahead. We lose you? Okay, looks like we lost him. So when he's back,
so
okay.
The mandate has been
okay.
Lockdown.
Michael, when you are back, let me know. I will know when you're back.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Hear me?
Okay, it looks like it's stuck. So, Michael, I'll let you talk, just a bit, I want us to do a final round of this discussion because, of our time. So I thank you all for, sharing your stories and, what you're observing in the nation and how you are meeting up, with what is going on. So if all of you, I know that, coming up on this broadcast, all of you probably had something in mind that you feel like if I had the opportunity to speak to the world or speak to people, this is what I would say. So I just want to go around. If each of us can just take about 2 minutes, each. So just go around, and I just want you to just, and I would like you to also, in talking, appeal to those who are watching concerning the leading light, walking in their purpose and so on, but just flow what is in your heart. So let's start from the other direction that we went. So Michael, are you back? Is Michael back? Okay, I don't think he's back yet. So let's go to Jerome. Let's start with Jerome. So what will you say? Just quickly, yeah.
What I would just say to those of us watching is that if you have a dream, go after your dream. Don't give up on your dream and purpose, your vision. Let them be sharp. Don't ever let people talk you down. If you want to get something done, people will tell you, this thing cannot be done, it cannot be done.
Yeah. Thank
you.
I
told you cannot do it, they will come back and say, we never knew it was going to be like this. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so hold on to your dreams. Hold on to your dreams. Ahmed.
Yeah, what I would say first is that is this: service is the pathway to greatness, and God is the only one that will give you revelation on the direction you need to go in life. And of course, whatever you do, ensure you have the right relationships in your life, and just believe in yourself. And the sky be your limit.
Thank you very much, Amaka.
Okay, I will say that God qualifies the called. You don't need to be qualified for you to answer your call, your purpose, the purpose of God for your life. And also hold on to God. There is no you without God. Make him your center. In fact, in every area of your life, let God be the master. Let him be the center of it all. And also hold on to that dreams, because for everybody in this planet, under the sun, there is a purpose for you. You're not a mistake. You are not here just to look at people or to watch people fulfill your own dreams or their purpose. You are here to fulfill a purpose. Attend Leading Lights training, discover your purpose, make God the center, and follow your dreams.
Amen. Thank you. Richard.
Well, like I mentioned before, I would encourage everyone to keep your focus on him. He's still in the business of doing great things. The good thing about this whole period is that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? So while you are in the tunnel, just keep focused, you know. And again, where your purpose comes in and all of this is, it's easy for you to lose track and be blown in different directions if you don't have anything you're holding on to. If you don't understand what your calling, what your purpose is, chances are this period you're going to be bouncing off a lot of walls. So that's what I have.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much. Olugbenga.
Thank you, Pastor Lan, for the opportunity. I'll just share briefly something that has been on my mind that I was thinking about today. So it's a scripture that says, deep calls of the deep at the noise of the water sprouts. All thy billows have come over me. So the picture is Paul and Silas beaten up and thrown into prison for speaking in the name of Jesus Christ, warned never to do it again. I mean, their bodies were lacerated and they were in so much pain. Perhaps the natural tendency of the mind is to give up and think, why should we continue to suffer like this? You know, we are in pain. And so to get discouraged, get despondent, I want to throw in the towel. But it's when the billows are all over you that deep begins to call onto deep. Deep doesn't call onto deep in peacetime, calm. Deep calls onto deep when you are in deep trouble, when there's a need to dig deep.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to say, oh, they sang at midnight. Nobody sings in joy at midnight after being beaten and thrown in jail. It doesn't happen. Yeah. The only way it happens is when deep begins to call onto deep. And
okay, we're having some network issues. So when Benga is back, let's go to who's next in line.
To help you understand what the fight is about. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Can I go on?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So it leaves the pain and the circumstance and moves you into the purpose, what the fight is really all about, and what is really at stake, and why you are facing so much resistance. I think of Nelson Mandela. He had to have gone through many moments where deep called onto deep for him to survive 27 years in prison, you know, not knowing if he would ever make it out. So I want to encourage us to dig deep. In this season, the solution is in the deep. It's not on the surface, it's not on the visible, it's not in the regular. Because this has been my meditation. And then also I want to talk about those of us that have children. This is the time to encourage them to explore their talents. My son is learning, he's just 10. He has read Read That Word, he's on his second reading. He has read it through, he's reading it all over again. Read That Word, and you know, he's learning editing, video editing, video recording on his mother's laptop. He's reading biographies, you know, he's discovering himself. So this is the time where we invest. We are close to the children. We can coach them real time, and invite them with the things that they would, that when they grow up, they will not pass on it as it were. So this is how I see it. Many things that we didn't have the privilege to be coached and taught, we can give them that privilege and position them at an advantage. So essentially, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Richard.
Which one of the Richard?
Oh, did you just go?
Yes.
No, you've not gone. You've gone already in this last round?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I went back to you. Let me see. Let me look at my list because I'm following the list. Okay. Pastor Uche. Well, you don't want Pastor anymore. Sister Uche, go ahead.
Okay, so if there's anything I would like people to know, I would like, especially for Christians to know that God brought us out of the world. you know, to bring us into our promised land. That every one of us, we have a land that we're supposed to occupy, a sphere. We learned that already in Leading Light. But I've discovered that there are things that hinder Christians from rising up to actually possess their land. There are things like weaknesses of the flesh. Things like, you know, I mean, several things. So normally when we have weaknesses in our lives, maybe we have anger, we have lust, we have all kinds of weaknesses, we kind of tend to play them down, you know. But I've discovered that these weaknesses are the very things that keep people from rising, you know, to their full destiny heights. So what I would tell people everywhere is, you know, yes, we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. It's not by our power. We're not trying to work out our own righteousness, but to align ourselves with the righteousness that is already in Christ. You know, align our lives with the word of God for one reason, so that we can rise up and do what God wants us to do. For me, I've had several experiences along this line, and I realized that with the weaknesses I had, it was so difficult. I had a lot of dreams, a lot of things I wanted to break into to start doing, but I just didn't know why I wasn't able to do them. You know, but God began to open my eyes that these are the things that, you know, Bible says in the book of Hebrew, chapter 12, verse 1, lay aside the sin and the weight that trip you down and slow you down. You know, and then he said, looking unto Jesus, the author, and so that you can run with patience the race that is set before you. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. That God wants us to run our race. There's a pace for that race. So it can't take forever to run that race. There's a pace for that race. There's a grace for that race. You know, so the earlier we agree with God's word to lay aside any weight in our lives, it will be easier for us to rise. Because if you have weight, just like an athlete, you won't be able to run fast. Sin is a weight and all that attachments. There's some attachment that believers have that, you know, keep us down. But God is in a hurry for us to actually, you know, rise up to the fullness of our destiny. But when we lay aside this weight, we'll be able to rise up, you know, and you know, to the fullness of our destiny. So that's what I would like to say.
Thank you. And I've been seeing your prayer. You've been having some prayer meetings online, right?
Yes. Yes, I thank God for that, because prior to the COVID season, I wasn't doing that. So when you talk about opportunities, I just saw, because I run a women foundation, we are mostly online, but not on live, Facebook Live and Instagram Live. But when I saw everybody was there, I took advantage of it. I mean, it's been awesome. It's been mind-blowing. Our team, we've expanded our team. We're doing more, and God is showing us more things. We are just more effective. And I'm growing every day.
Some of them, I mean, you know, some of your, you know, the meetings that you're having, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank God for you. So she's a prayer woman. Prayer, you know, she's a demon slayer, you know. She will break open anything that needs to be broken. Talk about the one that used to do the Adasha stuff.
Adasha.
Yeah.
Well, the Adasha Women Empowerment Initiative is actually a community of women that came together to say, okay, let's go into the society and empower women who are living below poverty line, women who are living below 20,000 naira every month income, not just women, families. There are families who are on less than 20,000 naira in a month. So we go into societies and we just conduct general questionnaires, interviews, and then from our interviews, we're able to adopt people that meet that, you know, that fall within the category we're looking for. So every month we go to their community, we teach them some principles from God's word, we empower them to start businesses. Most of them had to start new businesses. We supported them all through 2 years, and then we graduated them. I mean, we have a lot of testimonies. Then our current project is Adopt a Child Initiative. So we went to these communities around Igondo, Yanabaja area. We adopted some families. Most of them are widows' kids. Some of them are not going to school. So we adopted them, and our plan is to just see them through school, from primary school to secondary school. So that program is ongoing right now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And for those who are watching, you are hearing all these amazing things. So we have a panel that has business people here in different fields, education, logistics, oil and gas engineering, fashion. Then we have social entrepreneurs here too. Like Ahmed, who is using chess to educate kids all around the world. We have music, with Jerome. We have Michael, who owns a poultry, in Abuja. So we just, and then we have, Mr. Adekoya Benga, who is a business person, but also he has the anointing to teach, to pass information across, videos and writing books and all that. So it's like a compendium of God's gifts, that we have in this place today. For those of you who are watching, if you want to contact them, they all have websites, they have, WhatsApp, just different ways that you can contact them. Please reach out to them, the YouTube videos that we have shown and all that, and just link up with them. And I believe that one of the things God is doing right now is collaboration. One of the things, it's people are collaborating.
Yeah.
Like I've been getting invitation to speak on all kinds of things. I did conference, through YouTube. Through all kinds, like collaborating to do stuff. God is fostering that, and please, let's do that. If there's anything that these people are doing that just touches your heart, or one of them just touches your heart, and you're like, I think I'd like to get to know about this person more, you can always contact us at LDC at the Light Development, info, let's use info at the lightdevelopmentcenter.org, info at lightdevelopmentcenter.org, and they will give you the contact of any one of them so that you can stay in touch with them. Miriam, so what do you have on your mind?
Well, for me, in conclusion, the word that God has given me in this season comes from Jeremiah 32, verse 42, which says, "For thus says the Lord, just as I have brought upon this people, all this people, so I will also bring upon them all the good that I have promised them." I remember when I came across that scripture when I was doing my devotions, it really encouraged me, because there were some days I would wake up during the lockdown and I would be very depressed, depressed, like feeling like things were not going well, like I wasn't making progress. Everybody else has pivoted to the online world, and I have not been able to figure out how to do this effectively. But I just saw encouragement there, and I think that's really my word to everyone. It's just that we're going to come out of this, because God has already said that we will, and He has said that He will bring even greater good upon us, and that if we survive, like I said, for me, I don't have a lot of ambitions during this season. I know some people have very massive goals. I don't have a lot of goals in this season. My priority is to survive and to take 250 people along with me. If I do that, that's fine. And I think if we all survive, then we're already winners in this pandemic.
Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Michael, you got lost, so what's on your mind as a wrap up? Michael from Abuja. Did we lose Michael again? I want him to have the chance.
Network has been off and on. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I said sorry, my network has been off fluctuating since I don't know why. But my last take on this is let us appreciate the love of God in our lives. Someone said that one of the greatest achievements in this season is to remain alive. Let us stay safe and trust God, because if you check the book of Romans,
okay.
Miriam,
can you borrow your network? This is Abuja. Just transfer your network. All right.
Okay, you have lost me again?
Yeah, we lost you. I was just joking that Miriam should just, if there's a way to just transfer network. But that's
Okay.
fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I get the gist
Okay.
of what you're trying to say. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Thank
Okay.
you so much, everybody, for this time. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate this share. Thank you all for sharing about your dreams, your visions, and I believe that those who are watching have been blessed by your stories, and those who are going to watch this, as we continue to show it, they are going to be blessed by your stories. So I really appreciate your time for sharing with us. So one more time for those who are watching us, this is Light360. We've been trying to just bring up different people to showcase their stories, people who are making a difference. There are lights, everywhere. Lights360. There are lights in various places. Even though darkness is covering the earth right now, yet the light is upon the church, and some people are rising up and they're shining in the midst of the darkness. So you've heard the stories of some of them here today. I'm privileged to know all of them, and I'm excited that they were all part of the. If you have not done the Leading Lights training, we are having a virtual Leading Lights training, a taste of Leading Lights. Go to openhouse.theleadinglights.org, which has been posted under the link, under the Facebook links in the various pages. So make sure that you just go there, and our team will get in touch with you. So we're going to be signing off. For everyone, we're going to sign off with another song by Roti. So Roti is also Leading Lights. She's in Lagos, but she was also in Chicago before, but she's based in Lagos now. She was there helping doing the Leading Lights training in Nigeria. So we came in with our song, Amazing Grace. There's another song that she sang that is called There's a Fire or something like that, That's the song we're going to be, we're going to just quickly listen to, just a few, about 3 or so minutes. We're going to listen to that song as we go out, and then all of us will just come back afterwards and just say bye-bye to everybody on Facebook. So let's listen to Rod. There is a fire.
Where there is harmony, there is unity. Joy increases in our community. Where there is striving, there is no love. How do we create a better place for our children? Did you know if I shine my light will shine brighter and brighter? Did you know if we stop the fight we'll soar higher and higher? There is a fire inside of you and me. Together we'll shine bright. Together we'll turn on the light for every one of us. Every one of us. Every one of us. So hold my hand. I'll hold yours too. Here we stand, together we stand. Oh, break by break, upon this hill, we'll rebuild the future's amazing. Did you know if I shared my light will shine brighter and brighter? Did you know if we stop the fight we'll soar higher and higher? There is a fire inside of you and me. Together we'll shine bright. Together we'll turn on the light for every one of us. 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 Shine your light for every one of us to see. For every one of us you meet, we will be greater. shine your light for every one of us to see, for every one of us to live, we will be stronger. Together shine your light for every one of us to see, for every one of us to live, the flame will burn brighter. Together. Together. There is a fire inside of you and me. Together we'll shine bright. Together we'll turn on the light of every one of us. Every one of us. There is a fire inside of you and me. Together we'll shine bright. Together we'll turn on the light for every one of us. Every one of us. Every one of us. Every one of us. Together.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us. Let's just say bye-bye to our Facebook guests.
Thank you, Pastor Lan. Thank you, Pastor
you
Lan,
very
for
much.
this
Thank you,
opportunity.
Pastor, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
God
everybody.
bless you.
I am
Thank you so
grateful.
much.
Team, people who are working
Bye. See you next
to
time
make it
again.
happen. Pastor Peace and all the other people, we appreciate you all. And we guys, we're gonna keep talking. So we'll reach out to you guys later. All right. So keep shining the lights.
Thank you,
so
sir.
You guys stay on. Don't go yet. Just stay on. Let's go off Facebook. Bye bye, Facebook people. We'll see you.
Bye, Facebook. Bye.
Facebook.